Namaste. Welcome back to our channel. You all must be wondering, what is this sidetrack channel? Well, this is an extension of the second video. I'm sure all of you enjoyed the story of Sylvester Stallone. All of you agree that one communication made a huge impact in his life. I am here today to share some of my personal examples. They are going to be in 5 parts. These personal examples are very important. Who I am, what I say and what I do are all the same in my life. So I find them very related to Sylvester Stallone's story, because when a positive communication is coming from somebody, how do you take it, receive it and store it in your memory is very important. So here's the first story that I'm going to give you about a positive communication. I was just around 21 years old when I got my college results. I had gone to college and I came back home, and just as I was entering, I met my father. And he said, "What happened?" And I said, "Dad, I've become a graduate." And I was so happy. And I said, "My grades are pretty good." And in our, we belong to a South Indian family. My father came to me and he tapped me at the back and he said, "Bhesh." Bhesh in Kannada means excellent. But beyond that, he said one single sentence, and that was, "Okay, now you've become a graduate, you have to serve the country." I said, "What? My goodness, what has he said?" Because what would you expect your dad to say? "Wow, very good, I'm so proud of you, you've done this, great for you, do what you like," something like that. But here was my dad who said, "Now you have to serve the country." And he was a man who was in a very top position as Deputy Commissioner in Chikmagalur district, in a government position. And he was very, very socially active as a person, emotionally very stable father I had. So I was extremely happy to hear his words. The second example that my father gave me as a script that came through all my life was when I was getting married. He told me, "You know what, today, if after marriage you get one morsel of food, one meal a day, you're very, very blessed." Because there are so many in India who do not have that. You're very blessed if you get one meal a day. That communication was so positive to me that I just believed in him, I loved him, I trusted him, and I believed in his faith. So when I got married, if I got the second meal, I would say, "Wow, it's a bonus. I got tea time, I got snacks, I got a car, I got a scooter, I got a big house." Everything became a bonus to me. So you see the power of one communication. When he said, "You have to serve the country," one communication. When he said, "If you get one meal a day, you're very blessed in life," brought about so much contentment and happiness all my life. Thank you, Dad. I would like to share this with you. I don't know how many of you will relate to this, but this is a true fact that these 2 scripts have lived through my life. So this is the end of the first story. Okay, now we are going on to the second story, the second communication pattern which made a difference in my life. We belong to a very South Indian, custodial, very orthodox family. And after my graduation, I went and asked my mother. I had got an application and had applied for an MSc in child development. My mother looked at me and she just sighed. She said, "I'm so sorry, my girl. I cannot educate you further. Your dad is waiting for 3 years to get you married. I cannot plead for time with him anymore. You'll have to get married now." Being a very obedient daughter, I happily accepted that, and for 2.5 years I was at home till I got married. But this must have been brewing in her head that she couldn't allow me to study further. So just 1 week before my marriage, she called me aside. She said, "Come here, I want to tell you a secret." And I was wondering what my mother would say. And she called me close and she said, "You know something, I couldn't make you study further. But don't worry, marriage is such a beautiful organization. Step into it as if you're going to be a great success. Enjoy life. Marriage is for freedom. And then, depending on how you live with your people or how you manage your own life with them, you will be able to study further again." I think she had a lot of guilt in her, but I'm glad she gave me this script. I believed in it. I trusted that communication. I said, wow, marriage is a great place of freedom. And I got a very good husband whom I could talk to. So I told him I want to study further. But believe me, friends, it is just like the stories you've heard before. I had to wait almost 13 years to study again. But today when I look back, that one communication made me a special educator, made me come up in this field, and now I have served for almost 33 years. I'm very happy about this journey, and I owe it all to my great mother. Thank you, Mom. Okay, I've just told you 2 little stories, and this is the 3rd one. Right? Now this is very exciting for me. First I spoke about some of the scripts that my dad gave me, then I spoke about my mom, but this one is all about me and my own experience about how I started my company called Integrated Systems. By then I had worked with an NGO for about 14 years, and I had realized that I didn't want to start an NGO. I wanted to start a company which works for normalization and which works for inclusion. Since I'm a special educator and I had worked in the area of disability, I thought this was very essential at that time. So in 97, when I tried to start my own company, I just spoke to a few of my friends. When you look at friends, you expect positive responses from them. When I spoke to the first person, I was shocked to hear their response. They said, You starting a company? You must have gone crazy, man. You come from a rehabilitation background and you have an idea of doing corporate programs, teaching in schools, giving corporate programs in schools? Impossible. Don't even dream about it. Just forget that idea. I think you should just try and do some consultation and that's it. I said, wow, I really think they were naysayers like Arnold. It was tough for me that day. Then I spoke to another friend. I thought, oh, she is definitely going to encourage me. And what happened was very shocking. She said, how can you start a company and then you're saying you'll do rehabilitation also? Those two are totally unconnected, Vani. I think you've got it all wrong. It's never going to happen. Forget about it. Don't start a company and all that, yeah. Just do some consultancy and that's it. I said, oh my God, I can't make people understand my vision, my idea, my concept. I cooled down for a while and then there was a good family friend of ours. I spoke to them and I was shocked at their response as well. You know what they told me? They said, you know what? Yours is a very good idea. Just start a rehab unit, make it an NGO, get lots of donations and go and build a beautiful villa in Ooty or somewhere in India. And you know what? We can also come there for a holiday. I knew they were absolutely cynical in what they were saying. And I said, oh sure, I'll do that for you. Because I knew how cynical they were, I gave them as cynical a response, but I don't think they understood. And they all went back thinking that I'm going to make a big thing of it. These 3 people were real naysayers, but there were many more. Now, how would I start a company having all these people with me? So I decided that I will go to the first HR person I met in the corporate and ask her what her opinion is. So when I went and met her, Though I had booked an appointment and she was very courteous to me, still while waiting in the lobby before going into her cabin, I was a little jittery because of what people had said. But I had the determination that I'm going to check this out, whether what people are saying are true or not. That courage helped me a lot. So I went into her cabin and I told her, I want to start my own company. This is what is happening, and would you be able to encourage me in this? She was so excited. She said, I was looking for somebody just like you. Wow, let's give you the first program. Come on, when can you do it on communication? And that was one encouraging communication that brought me back to my office with so much of confidence, happiness, and a great amount of success. One communication. Yes, you can do it. From a HR person inviting me to do that. So in integrated systems, we divided it into 3 portions. We did HR programs. We were consultant to 85 schools in Chennai. We also did programs with colleges, and we also consulted with NGOs and did modules on counseling. So that's the success story of integrated systems. It's now from 97 till now. It's going fine. We've done tremendous amount of work, and thanks to all my clients, my students, my well-wishers, and all those who encouraged me, including my family. Thank you very much. So this is the 3rd part. So we come to the 4th part of it. Here I am going to quote a very personal example, because this is about my own child and what we both had as a communication between us. So here my child was studying hardly in 6th or 7th standard at that time in a very good school, and it so happened that she had been deputed for some sports activity to different schools and she had not attended class. So the teacher had called me and I went over with my daughter to face the teacher. Unfortunately, the teacher was very rude to me and she spoke so autocratically, saying, look, I don't care what happens to your daughter beyond the classroom. It is her duty to cope up. Neither the teacher had supported her, nor she was interested in knowing what I had to say. It was a very autocratic communication. So I felt there's no point arguing with her, and I came back and we both sat in the car, and as we were driving home, my daughter held my hand and she said, Mom, I wouldn't like to study in a school where my parents are not respected. This is unfair on her part. She doesn't even know your strength. She doesn't know you are a special educator. She doesn't know you can teach even special children. And what is normal children to you? She doesn't know that. I'm not willing to accept this, what she said to you. So I felt so touched. Thank you so much, Aparna, because that made a big difference in my thinking. And we both decided that it's time we change her school. My husband also agreed, and we changed her school and gave her a much better life. But today, I'm very proud to say she's completed her PhD in social media, and she's in a very big position as a senior lecturer in a very reputed university in UK. So that's a very personal communication that has made my life so important to my child. Thank you, Aparna. So we are coming to the 5th part of Sidetrack. I hope you all have been enjoying my stories. They are very personal messages, but I'm sure all of you would love to hear them. Well, this story is long back, I would say, maybe 2 decades ago, when my mother-in-law was very, very sick. She was bedridden, and we were all taking care of her. And I used to feel very sad for her because she was such a lovely woman, so beautiful in nature, and we both got along so well. And here, completely on the bed, my husband had gone on tour, so she missed him very much. And the day he came back from tour, I heard my husband getting into her room, and he said, Mom, why are you lying down so much like this? Come on, get up, let's go for a movie. And I saw, like we would say, it was a It was a very exciting moment for my mother-in-law. That one communication, get up, I'm going to take you for a movie, made such a difference because she was also a movie buff and so is her son, and both of them enjoyed seeing movies together. So what happened was, she suddenly got up and she said, which movie? And I went there and I told my husband, listen, of late I told you she's become quite independent. She's been able to take care of herself. But since she's been on bed for so long, she's not thinking she's okay. Now this is a motivation, why don't you take her right away? She said, yes, take her. So he said, okay, I'm organizing a transport. And she said, which movie are you taking me? He said, I don't know which movie. She knew only Kannada. So he said, I'll take you to some Kannada movie, whatever is available, let's go. And it was very exciting for me to watch my mother-in-law get up from her bed. Imagine, a person who was bedridden for 2.5 years just got up and she said, okay, which sari should I wear? And she asked me, can you help me? I said, sure. And I tied her sari for her. I did her hair. And she was all set to go. And she said, I can't walk too much. My husband said, that doesn't matter. I'm taking you by a vehicle. So we go right up to the theatre. She said, what if we don't get tickets? He said, no. In those days, we had to go to the theatre and buy the tickets. He said, no, we'll get it. Don't worry. I'll make sure you see the movie. And I thought, wow, what a great communication that was. To a person who's been bedridden, you need to observe their movements and see if they are improving. When they are improving, you need to give those positive strokes. And I thought what Sukumar told his mother that day was such a good bonding between the mother and the son. She loved that communication because she enjoyed that stimulus. That stimulus made her get up from bed. And she went for the movie and came back. And from that day onwards, she got more active. She said she would like to go to my sister-in-law's house. She started visiting people. She became socially more active, quite happy, and a very different personality. But what was the reason? That one communication. Can I take you for a movie? Come on, get up. You're not so bedridden now. You're okay. Get up. Made all the difference. So here, folks, I hope you all enjoyed all these 5 stories. So friends, we'd like to just come back to you saying, if you like all these 5 stories, please to get back to us. I'm going to just summarize all the 5 points that I have spoken about. First, I spoke about my dad and his communication. He told me that I have become a graduate, I have to serve my country, and in whatever way it's possible, I have done a lot of justice to service in my country. He told me 1 meal a day, you should be so blessed. So that has made a big impact in my life. I'm so contented because of that. Then my mother, she said, marriage is freedom. You can study, do whatever you want after that. And I'm so happy that that one script took me so far. Then I talked to you about how difficult it was for me to start my own company. But that one communication I got from the HR person was so motivating. So I choose to pick the positive communications from all these stories. And then it was about Sukumar and his mother and my daughter. Both of them, if you look at it, one communication from Sukumar to his mother, come on, get up, let's go for a movie. And one communication from my daughter, Mom, I would like to study in a school that respects my parents. Made a big difference in my life. So here's the summary that I spoke about. Those of you who have loved our stories, who have loved our videos, please do share. Please do send us messages, emails, and subscribe to our channel. And we'll get back to you with our next motivating story. I'm sure all of you will look forward to it. Great. Bye-bye.